Hey, howdy gamers, and welcome back to Spider Psychology 103. I'm not sure if you can hear it by my voice alone, but I am quite sick at the time of recording, so today's going to be more of a show, don't tell session, rather than what you may be used to from this series at this point. But there are a few key concepts that I wanted to go over today as the third installment in the Spider Psychology series. Those are, of course, how to place your nest dynamically throughout the game. So not just nest placement spots, but what goes into the thought process behind placing a nest at certain spots in between points or on the payload card. The second is going to be web sling movement. So obviously you see a lot of my web slinging here, but the various ways that you can use that to get around the map very, very comfortably, including but not limited to hanging. And thirdly, we will be talking about battle mines and how to use your highest damage dealing tool in Peni's kit to the most effectiveness mid-combat as opposed to as a trap. So without further ado, let's get into the games. And we are here on offense for Clintar. This is going to be a really, really good map to show the dynamic nest placements, because it's going to be a way of showing where I'm placing my nest as we move up, as we take the payload, etc, etc. Now, in terms of what I try to keep in mind when placing my nest down, there are a couple of factors that come to mind immediately. The first of which is cover. You always have to have it behind cover. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. A nest that just gets placed out in the open is going to get destroyed. Almost immediately, almost every single time, a nest that gets placed out in the open is a dead nest. So right here, I've placed it behind cover and where the webs can extend, and that's going to be the second part, to where I effectively am. So again, moving it up with me. The important thing to note is that on offense, your nest serves two functions. It serves the same anti-dive function that it does when you're on defense. You're Peni, you're just an anti-dive character. And the second function that it fulfills is that it also is going to be your lifeline for speed and health. That's the next biggest difference. So on defense, you're going to use it to deter divers and then set up nests where you can kill people, as I'm going to move it into this little corner here. On defense, you're going to use it to set up kills. On offense, you're going to use it to set yourself up to get kills. It's a very minor difference, but it's a difference nonetheless. As I'm going to see if I can get this moved up just behind here in a better spot to give me that speed and HP boost. We're capping. I'm just going to chuck a mine trap down on this left side, just in case they get the wrong idea. And otherwise, I see that my health has gone down back to 650, not 800. Penny's max health is effectively 800 with how much she is healing herself. As I'm going to try and fail to get the rocket beacon. And I see that chef up behind. Again, just throw the nest, make sure that I can keep it at as high of HP as possible. You gotta place it behind this wall, as this rocket's gonna come in and probably get destroyed. Yep. As Peni here, our next biggest task is going to be dealing with their healers. Now, it did go down to a low amount of HP, so it's got a fairly long cooldown here. I'm gonna try and get up. I can wall climb. Okay, that's terrifying. So again, I'm placing it in these spots where it's out of cover, out of the line of fire, and also is able to provide me with constant speed, constant healing. And if I'm playing in my own backline, it's going to be a place where it's going to be able to deal with divers as well. That is the other factor. So here again, I'm just deterring divers. This nest is the reason that I got that kill, because they run in, they get stunned, they fall down onto the webs, and then I get the opportunity to place just blast them while they're dying. Now again, destroying your nest manually as much as possible is generally a really, really good idea. because you get to guarantee that it stays at a low cooldown all the way through the game, and you're also going to be able to place it back manually instantly if it hasn't taken damage. Now, the only downside to this, and it's an important downside, the only downside to this strategy is that destroying your nest, that was a bad spot because I placed it just out in the open. The only downside is that if you destroy it, all of the drones that it had spawned die, and it needs to spawn more again. So it, as a damage source, is going to get muted as you destroy and replace it. But I'm in the backline, so right now my job is going to be preventing dive. So I'm going to place it down behind this wall. Again, cover is the most important thing. Now this is a really, really nice spot that I like placing it. Now it's going to eat a couple shots from that silo, which is fine. It's going to go down, which again is okay, is manageable. We're getting it amplified, which is actually kind of huge. Unfortunately, the Invisible Woman does counter ult. That's fine. Where is this rocket res? I saw a shield. Magneto's low. Just gonna chuck a little mine trap down there. Stun you. Oh, I was out of that. I don't know what this Jeff's plan was, but he's gonna die now, basically. Okay. You can do whatever, bro. I'm not gonna stop you. And that's that. You know, like I said, it's the disruption, it's the constant placements of the nest along with you and your team if you are playing the backline. But we were playing fairly comfortably. We had a couple of good healers, so I felt okay pushing forward and flanking and diving effectively. We've got the staple, Hell's Heaven. Can't have a spider psychology video without it, apparently. And that is okay. The biggest focus for this next game is going to be movement with Penny's web sling. Now, Penny's web sling is different to both Venom and Spider-Man in that it is a straight line with a set distance that you either dash forward at its max distance or lower. That is what it can be summarized as. It does also have a fairly decent amount of niche tech. For example, if you attach a web to a ceiling, you see the web strand that pops up? Yeah, you can web sling to that one without creating a new web. If I were to aim up here instead, notice how it's a new web instead of just attaching to one that's already been placed. So you can set yourself up anchor points where when you need to fall back, you can set yourself up a point to return to. The other thing is that unlike the other spider heroes, whenever you are playing as Penny, you need to detach from her web sling to make sure that you can keep moving. And speaking of the other spider heroes, if you don't detach from your web sling, then a certain amount of distance away, I believe 10 or more, without it being cut off by Venom, it's going to draw you back to it. So right, you see here, I'm not going to get it cut off, or the map will do that for me. But if I go 10 away and let go of my keys, I get pulled back to it. If I can keep going further, but I move slower and slower. So always detach yourself if you're not planning on staying there for a particular reason. I don't know why that squirrel girl jumped back up. And what you're going to see that I'm doing is I'm just using a ton of movement around the map. One of the strengths that Penny has is she has some of the most precise movement as a tank, as you're going to notice, repositioning the nest. I really, really like that spot. There's a couple of other funky spots that you can hit up. For example, in here, it's less ideal because of the slanted walls, meaning that it's easier to see. But you can also just set up this corridor to be yours and nobody else's. Now, I'm going to web strand over here because I want to chase. And it kind of extends past the typical range of the web sling when it's trying to web strand, because it's going to try to web strand whenever you're nearby. The important thing to note otherwise is that it is quite easy to avoid it if you're aware of this, and you're just trying to deliberately not hit your own web strand. So if I don't want to web strand to this one, make sure that it's not highlighted, then press it. As the scroll stampede is going to hurt, need to get back into my webs. Thank you so much to that Invisible Woman for the heals, because I would not be alive without it. Star-Lord is ulting in, but we've got both Invisible Woman ults going off. That's fine. Let me push through and see if I can kill her out of her ult. No. Oh, Star-Lord ult is going off. Can I hit him? No, but our Star-Lord can. Perfect. I'm going to stay on my webs. Because, I mean, quite frankly, it's just super easy to do. This woman is around there somewhere. We'll hit it over here. And we will cap the point. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, it's still regarding the web sling, but you'll notice I am currently deathless in this game. Part of that, and part of why Peni is such a valuable tank defensively, is because it is really, really difficult to kill a Peni when she's zipping about on her webs, getting the speed boost, and then suddenly she flings herself halfway across the map. Right? She just heads to the other side of the room. Just instantly. Right? That is why Peni doesn't really die, or at least a good Peni shouldn't die a whole lot, because they should really be using their web sling to stay alive, get high ground, and just lob mines onto key areas. I didn't even realize that my nest had taken damage. Chase. She went up. Fuck, she went up. Damn it, where'd she go? Ah! Oh no. I'll eat that shit, brother. Okay. So, not the best way that could have gone. But that's okay, because again, we are focusing more on her movement, getting around, chasing targets, getting out of bad situations. Now, I didn't do that particularly well in the last round, as we finally get another tank. Thank the good Lord. So it's good to see another tank, especially one that I have the team up with. Now, because we have a Venom, I can play more of the classical tank role, so I'm going to set myself up. This fucking Thor, bro. Oh, and an Iron Fist now. Okay. The ability to just say, no, I'm gonna get out of this situation, and like literally just say it, because I have those mines, the web sling, is really, really nice. Now we've got a thing now instead of Venom, so we've lost the team up, unfortunately. I'm gonna take high ground with the web sling and just keep on chucking in. That is okay. Get a good healer ult going off. Was that their... That was their actual Thor, not their Loki Thor. As there is a Psylocke still trying to take point, and she is gone finally. And she's dead. There we go. They might be strange portaling with how quiet it is. Nope, they're just taking their time. Okay. As I get Iron Fist on the side with a nifty little trap, so I'm going to set up another one. There's Psylocke behind me. Hey, Psylocke. She wants me. So, again, we're just gonna keep using this to move quickly. Time is such a valuable resource in the game that being able to cut the time it takes to do certain tasks is so valuable. So valuable. Now, they have hit my right flank trap there, which means that they're going to be over here. Hey, Pookie. Waiting till my nest starts taking damage, and it has. Alright, Town Hall's affordable, so that means that I'm going to claim the point as my own and literally nobody else's. Like, you can push in if you want. Well, you ain't hitting nothing. Be so fucking for real right now. That's alright. Oh, it's his favorite time. There we go. Good healer up in. Gonna head up. I'm not. I'm gonna get the bug swing. That's fine. Unfortunately, this is occasionally something that can happen. Bug swings. That was only a fake. He switched on me. We'll switch up. But that is going to be the game. And not the best example of it, but a good demonstration of how passively her movement is super, super valuable. Now, the last point that I would like to make today is about battle mines, but more broadly, it's going to be how battle mines fit in with the rest of Peni's kit. So we're going to also be looking at Peni's nest placement and the web slings like I was earlier in the video, and how using your mines mid-battle complements other areas of her kit. Oh my god, guys, I've got fans recognizing me. Ha 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 ha. I mean, maybe. I mean, shit, Snaggy Pete, Splash for if you are fans, shout out to you. I'm assuming not, because, I mean, well, obvious reasons. That's fine. I'll just sit back up here. There we go. Now, I haven't been able to get the greatest example of it so far. But battle mines are, as opposed to regular mine traps, mines that you chuck into battle just mid-battle, just for the kick of it. Now, why you would do that is quite easy to explain. It's because your blaster does 30 damage and slows you down while you fire it, and your mines do 100 damage and can hit multiple players. Your mines are your biggest source of damage dynamically, and statically it is your nest. Now, are we running just one healer? We are. That's ballsy, admittedly. I'll just keep tagging people, just keep causing problems, or at least, at the very least, being a nuisance, but now I need to be the health pool on the front line, and hopefully I'm going to be able to demonstrate battle mines a little bit more effectively than I have been. Oh my god, he's got the shield and he's just hitting fucking headshots. Ow. Right, so notice how I'm chucking mines just into the fight here. Most of them are going to get destroyed. Most of them are. If you're going to subscribe to this style of play, you're going to need to understand that a lot of the mines that you chuck out are going to do nothing, basically. But any time that you get a mine through, that is 3.5-esque blasters worth, like blaster shots worth of damage if it lands. It's not always going to land. It could get through, set itself up, and then still not trigger. Alright? But all you need to get used to is the idea of chucking mines down mid-fight for the sole sake of dealing, for having the chance to deal extra damage. Basically. As they now also have a Peni, who I might recognize that name of. No. Oh, maybe. You tend to recognize most Penis because, I mean, there's not a lot of them. Especially Penis that have the Venom skin. Now against an enemy Peni, always be checking to see if the mines are yours. This Peni has not placed her nest in a particularly good spot, so it goes down, or she manually destroys it. I wasn't able to see its health before I shot it. Now, anytime that you see, and I've spoken about this before, anytime that you see an Invisible Woman's orb, her like damage orb, yeah, don't bother trying to shoot mines through that because they get auto-destroyed by it. Any time that you shoot a mine into it, it's just going to get destroyed. Because it's just a giant AoE of constant ticks of damage. And there's battle mines, which netted me at the very least 1 kill. And then I'm going to get out with the help of the good web slings. And then keep control with the nest placement. Like, this is the blend of Peni's kit. You battle mine to get in, nearly got the Luna, but unfortunately I was only able to get the Spider-Man when it happened. And now I can ult in fairly comfortably. As that is a 5k from our... That's a 5k from the fucking Wanda ult. That is capital N nuts. Yeah, your mines, when they're on a web, invincible, invisible. Oh, this is not good. Back out. Squirrel Girl is an annoying matchup. Especially with the Spider-Man team up, as we learn, or remember, or realize. And it's the enemy Penny, so she recognizes what a good counter is. Especially because her acorns do a ton of AoE and are able to destroy a lot of uncovered mines. I hear that, Spider-Man. I get the Squirrel Girl accidentally. That's one of the benefits of keeping mines after you die, which is not something that happens with any other part of your kit. Oh, your webs stay up, but your nest doesn't stay up. One of the benefits is the fact that you can just get the most random mine kills. I don't even know where that Squirrel Girl was when she died. And yet, for the sheer sake of having... Okay, well that's just rude. Of having the mines down. So I'm just going to keep flinging mines forward, just keep taking space. Squirrel Stampede is annoying, admittedly. But we can stay with it. Invisible Woman's stunned. We need to get her down before she pops ult again. And she does go down. I don't have my stun ready, unfortunately. I need to destroy my nest so that I can have it on cooldown soon. Luna Snow nearly has her ult again. That's okay. And that is game. So, those are the games for today. I apologize that I wasn't as lively or descriptive as I normally tend to be. It's really, the illness that I've got is just taken over, unfortunately. But, of course, we had a look at how to place your nest dynamically throughout the map, what to look for, cover where it's going to benefit you or benefit the team the most, you if you're diving, your team if you're counter diving. We had a look at how to best utilize Penny's best movement tool, the Web Sling, one that has an insane amount of untapped potential, especially with how much you can stretch it out. Yeah, the potential that the Web Sling has. And of course, finally, the battle mines and what the value is of chucking mines into the fight mid-fight. And that is part of why I have my mines bound to a mouse button so that I can hit that while still firing. If you have stayed this long, thank you so much for watching. I really cannot express how much I appreciate it. Patreon will be going up sometime soon for people to go check out. There's going to be a lot of extra nerdy Penny content there, as well as various other goodies. You can look out for an ultimate rollout guide part 2, revisions and updates, as well as a battle mine guide, a general Penny guide, and a Road to Ranked series coming soon on the Co-Moment channel. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.